Let's go. Welcome back to the Skooshi Sport Podcast, the Skooshi Sports Report, bringing you the latest sporting news from around the globe. Here, back with you to cover 5 major sports for you, potentially 6. May talk about a little bit of NFL at the end as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, guys, if you like the content, you like what you see, make sure you give it a massive like on YouTube and subscribe to the channel as well. Give me a rating on Spotify and Apple as well, and follow as well. Get your notifications on so you know every single time I bring out a podcast as well. Yesterday had my final ever games review of the year for rugby league. I reviewed the last game of the Ashes and the final of Pac Champs, men's and women's, up the Kiwis. Good win over Samoa there. Obviously, tomorrow, guys, week 11 of the Red Zone Report will be coming hard at you as well. We are on a mad prop run. I think we're on 19-4 prop run at the moment on the Red Zone Report. If you're not tuning into the Red Zone Report, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Make sure you tune in. Follow my socials. All at Skooshi Sports, Skooshi Sports, for all your daily reels and daily updates as well. All right, let's get into it. We've got a real tuned-in show for you this week. We're going to start off with our Women's Player of the Week, get into a bit of rugby, cricket, and then, of course, head into our American sports, which I absolutely love. Bit of NBA, hockey, and I said a bit of NFL chat to finish off the episode. So let's get started. My favorite bit of segment of the week, and that is my Women's Player of the Week. We either feature it in this episode with the Sports Report, or if there is a women's rugby league player that's absolutely killed it that week, she will feature in the NRL or NRLW Games Review. That didn't happen yesterday, but we have got an absolute banger. We are coming at you with another tennis player. We had Aryna Sabalenka about 5-6 weeks ago, just after she won the US Open. Now, speaking of Aryna Sabalenka, she just lost to this lovely woman in the finals of the WTA finals, and that is my Women's Player of the Week in tennis, Elena Rybakina from Kazakhstan, winning the WTA finals in Saudi Arabia. How bloody good. She defeated Aryna Sabalenka in the final, 6-3, 7-6 in the final, and not just won the tiebreak, absolutely dominated the tiebreak. Could not go any better. 7-love in the final of the tiebreak there in the second set. And if you don't remember, or if you do remember, I spoke about Aryna Sabalenka's stats in their tiebreaks early this year, how she's absolutely dominated. And for her to lose her third tiebreak this season in a final like that and beat her 7-0 in the tiebreak, what an absolute achievement. Going on about Elena, she had 36 winners and 13 aces in the final here. Absolutely incredible. How the WTA finals work. She was the 6th seed, I think, in this one here. You get your top 8 rankings from your WTA season. They go into 2 groups of 4. You play round robin, so you have 3 matches against your group. The top 2 in the group, so your first in one group will play second in the other, and then obviously vice versa. First in Group B will play second in Group A. She then won her semi-final in that one there. She actually played Iga Swiatek in the group stage, and she beat her in the group stage 3-6, 6-1, 6-love, which is unreal. Wins her semi-final in straight sets. I think that was against Coco Gauff, if I'm not mistaken. And then goes out and beats the world number 1 US Open champion Aryna Sabalenka in the final. As I said, 6-3, 7-6, collecting $5 million USD prize money. Cha-ching, cha-ching. It ain't about that bling. Holy dooly, absolutely cashing in. She also is 8-6 now against world number 1. So it's an unreal. Elena Rybakina from Kazakhstan, the first Asian woman as well to win the WTA finals. Incredible. Congratulations, Elena Rybakina, my Women's Player of the Week. Massively deserved. All right, let's get into some sporting talk. We're going to kick it off with the rugby like we did last week. And the All Blacks, they get the win again. Not as easy, this one, it seems. I felt more comfortable last week, I guess, but 25-17 against Scotland. In Scotland, it was at Murrayfield, this one here. Holy dooly. I mean, complete opposite, I guess, of last week, where last week I was pretty uneasy at halftime. This one I was like cruising. 17-0 at halftime. I was like, hey, who cares about the travel? Who cares about these stupid white jerseys? I hate these white jerseys, guys. We're the All Blacks, and I get it. Scotland wear this dark blue. They're a home team. I get it. We have to wear it once or twice a year. It just seems like we just lose this power. I don't know what it is to play proper rugby. I want to know what our record is like in these white jerseys, or like the grey jerseys back in the day. Oh, they're awful. Awful, awful. I hate watching the All Blacks, or All Whites, I may as well call them, wear these jerseys. 17-0 at halftime, though. I was like, sweet, we're chilling. Defense is looking good. A couple good tries. We had Scott Barrett out with a leg laceration. This was known. He wasn't named. So did Geordie Barrett. He's out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury. So that meant Artie Sevilla was captain. And if you've listened recently, you'd be all about me being all about Artie Sevilla being captain for me. I just think he's just a perfect captain for the All Blacks, and I was definitely happy to see him be captain. Look, he's had better games for sure. He actually got yellow carded in the first half here, at the start of the second half here, But start of the game, we kicked it off with literally a try in the second minute. Really good line break. I think it was by Fletcher Newell, I want to say. And then got the offload to Cam Roygaard. And number 9 as a support player goes under the sticks. Cam Roygaard is the absolute man. I absolutely love him there at scrum half. He's just fast. He's dynamic. Support player as well. He's not afraid to run the ball, which I absolutely love for a number 9 in the modern rugby game. And I think he's got a solid kicking game too. Throws some really good accurate passes as well to Beauden Barrett and co. And I said we started really solid defensively. But then, we're 10-0 up. Leo Ricardo gets a yellow near the end of the first half for tripping. Completely fair. Should not have done it. Clearly sucked the foot out. Just can't be doing that, Leroy. Can't be doing that. But that didn't stop us. Just before halftime, beautiful, beautiful move down the left side. I think it was Wallace Atiti. Gets the ball off to Caleb Clark down there. Inside to Will Jordan. And he scores with a man down. Just on the stroke of halftime to put the All Blacks / Whites up at 17-0 at halftime. And you'd think 17-0 against a team like Scotland, who I think they're ranked 17 in the world. Let's have a quick look. I looked at this last week. Righty. So Scotland are the 8th in the world. So look, 8th in the world. I was thinking, sweet, can't really complain. We're 17-0 up against 8th in the world. Looking pretty good. I don't know what our halftime chat was. I don't know what the Scotland halftime chat was. I've spoke about it a bit this year on my podcast. All Blacks have these 20-minute periods every single fucking game, and it drives me up the wall where we just completely lose focus. Last year and the year before, it was the last 20 minutes of our games. Last week, it felt like I don't know, the start of the game, but maybe the second 20 minutes of the game, we just sort of lost focus and really sort of turned it on the last 20. It was the first 20 minutes of the second half. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? Scotland came absolutely boosting out the blocks. They score a try early in the second half to put the pressure on us. Really put a lot of pressure on us. They probably should have scored a bit earlier. They scored the 45th minute, I think, sort of a rumble try through a scrum. They nearly scored through a rumble sort of line out before that. After that scrum play, Artie Sevilla got yellow carded as well. So 17-7, yellow card as well. And then literally a few minutes later, Scotland score yet again defensively on the, I think, through the left side it was. Plenty of space there. Plenty of space. 17-14, just like that. Just like that. We're just cruising 17-0 at halftime. In the 50th minute mark, it's 17-14, and we're still got a man in the bin. And it didn't stop there. They nearly scored again 4 minutes later. They were hot on our line, absolutely hot on our line. I thought they were going to score for all money, and it took a good defensive play for us to knock the ball out of their prop, literally 1 meter out from our line. Got away with it there, drop ball. And then, it seemed like a minute later, they get the ball back, and they nearly scored in the right corner. They put a brilliant move down the right side. Their winger gets away from a couple tackles and nearly scores in the corner, and it took a Cam Roygar tackle for him to lose the ball on put down. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here? Literally, what? Like, hello? Like, what happened at halftime? We just completely lost focus. It's like the game was over. And I was like, okay, it's all good. You know, Artie Sevilla is about to come back on. There's a minute to go. And then we get a line out, sort of around halfway. Win the line out. I'm like, sweet, backline move. Here we go. Pass. Intercept. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? What more can happen? It was fortunate it was a scrum half. He's not too fast. Will Jordan was able to sort of chase him down. They ended up getting a penalty from that in the end, it looked like. We got the ball back, and then we went and kicked it, but we were offside in our own half. So Scotland kicked a penalty. 20 minutes ago, 17-all. And just like that, literally just like that, it was 17-all. I just could not believe my eyes. What the fuck was I watching? This is not like... this is not the All Black. It was just so frustrating to watch. These 20-minute periods, it just keeps happening and happening and happening. I don't know if it's a Scott Robinson thing. I don't know if it's like a team mentality thing that's on the field. It's just driving me up the wall and must drive so many All Blacks fans up the wall as well. And as I said, 17-all, 20 minutes to go. Drink of the day, Nesquik chocolate. You've absolutely got to love it. It is better than Milo, just saying. Anyway, 17-all, 20 minutes to go. And then Scotland get the kickoff off that. They go left. Satiti knocks a ball down. Yellow card. I'm just thinking, here we fucking go. We're about to botch this. 17-0 up. And we're about to botch this. We've never lost to Scotland, ever. And we're about to botch this. And then, honestly, Damien McKenzie, I think he came on probably a little bit earlier than this. I mean, I think he came on for Caleb Clark. He was on the wing a little bit. I've bagged Damien McKenzie a little bit right on this podcast. He started in Perth. I thought he was so bang average. I just don't think he's a 10. I think he's better suited to a fullback position. He got put on the wing. So they kept Will Jordan on. And he was awesome. He was unreal. He was unreal. Probably saved the game for us. And he gets the ball probably like on the hour 40, and he decides to kick a 50-22, and not just a 50-22. This went out like 5 meters out from the Scotland line. 10 minutes to go, we're still got a man down. This absolutely changed the whole momentum for us. Whole momentum. It was just so good. We ended up getting the line out, which is good. I'm not a fan of this 50-22, by the way. I think it's just like a cheap version of the 40-20 in rugby leagues. Like, considering you've got unlimited players in rugby, to have a 50-22, it's a 28-meter kick. Come on, man, do better. But it was an unreal kick anyway. Obviously, they're the rules. It's all good. We get the line-out win. We're driving it down. Artie Sevilla nearly scores. And then we go left. Cam Roygar puts the ball out to Beauden Barrett. He gets it to Lessa Fine-Gakanuku. And then Damien McKenzie wraps around the back of him. Unreal play. He gets it. He's going for the left corner. He evades a tackle, and then he sort of does this 360 move, falling down and plants it down with his left arm, managing to stay in touch. It was an awesome put down. Awesome. That put us up 22-17. Bit of a sigh of relief. And we managed to hold on. We get Satiti back on the field there, and then we get a penalty with 2 minutes to go to make it 25-17 to sort of lock it up, get the win there. But holy dooly, it was definitely a scare. New Zealand, we now play England, one of our bigger rivals. England are, where are they ranked in the world? They're fourth in the world, and England are favourites next week. They are favourites. Can you believe it? Do not often see New Zealand underdogs in a game. Obviously, it's in England, I get it, but holy dooly, this is going to be a game. England -1.5. I'm not sure what team they named last week against Fiji. I assume it was maybe like a rested a couple to get sort of ready. They only won that one 38-18. I definitely thought it was a bit of sort of a flatter spot, a look-ahead spot. Coming off that big Australia win, now playing the All Blacks this weekend. I assume the All Blacks will be wearing black, which is fantastic. England should be wearing white. That is going to be an absolute doozy. Absolute doozy of a game. Cannot wait. Scotland, they now go and play Argentina. Argentina are coming off a ripping win against Wales, 52-28. Be interesting to see how Scotland reply to that one. They probably felt like at some stage they really had a massive chance to get a win over us. I think Argentina may win that one. Scotland are favourites in that one as well. Very small favourites, but I do like Argentina in that one. I just think it was probably a bit of a dampener for Scotland last week, losing that one. Be interesting to see the mentality and how they come back from that one. But moving on, and Italy beat Australia 26-19. My first reaction as an All Blacks fan is... Australia, what happened? Are you kidding? You lose to Italy. Italy are ranked 10th in the world. And you lose to them as 12.5-point favourites. Oh, you get dicked against England last week, and then you come out against Italy as 12.5-point favourites and lose. I gave this team so much praise. So much praise. I started doing my podcast around the British and Irish Lions tour. I gave them so much bloody praise of putting a good effort against the Lions to lose 2-1 in that series. They went to South Africa, beat them in South Africa, and they had a very good contest against us at Eden Park in New Zealand, and then a pretty good contest against us in Perth. They lost 1-1 against Argentina. I thought they were the better team against Argentina, and I was giving them so much praise. I thought they had finally turned a fucking corner. Now this team goes to North. They just beat Japan with their B team, respectively, sincerely. And then they get dominated against England. Dominated. I think they lost, what was it? I think 25-7, 26-7. And now they lose against Italy, 26-19. And they were up at halftime as well, 12-9. Italy, 4 penalty goals to 0 in this one here. So 2 tries to 3, and they win this one. Man, just like Australia, what the hell is going on here? Carter Gordon, first game back, he started at 10 for the Wallabies here. Obviously, been at the NRL this year. At the Titans, he didn't really get too much game time because he had injury, but now he gets slotted straight back into the Wallabies team, and they lose. All credit to Italy, though. Absolute massive credit to Italy. Massive scalp for them to beat a team like the Wallabies. And they fully deserved it. They sort of held on, and they scored 2 quick tries within sort of 3-4 minutes. In around the 60th minute mark, they were down 19-12, I think, and then they get back to so it was 12-all, and Australia scored 19-12. Italy scored about the 60th minute, 19-all, and then they scored 2 minutes later to make it 26-19. And then they just held on from there. All credit to them. Getting the win there, all deserved. Australia now go and play Ireland. They get the joy of going from 12.5-point favourites to 10.5-point dogs against Ireland. I'm not sure who. I think Ireland played like a relatively easy game last week from memory. They will be absolutely up for this after losing to New Zealand. They should be over their travels from Chicago. Yeah. Italy, they go and play South Africa now next week. So a bit of a different team. We'll see how they go in that one there. Speaking of South Africa, they had an absolute blockbuster clash against France on the weekend. 2 of the best sort of teams in the world. You're looking at number 1 against number 5 in the world. France were number 1 in the world at the start of the year. So they're no slouch at all. South Africa pretty much beat them convincingly, 32-17. I think France were leading at halftime, or leading with sort of 25 minutes to go. And then it all just sort of capitulated. I think it was 17-16. South Africa just seemed to do this thing where they just turn it on when they need to, right? Like they did it against Australia in that second game, the Rugby Championship, and they just seem to find the knack to bloody do it. They did it against Australia against New Zealand as well in Wellington. They put literally like 5 tries on us in that last 25 minutes. I just got PTSD thinking about that. So yeah, South Africa go play Italy, 22.5-point favorites. France, they'll play Fiji, 23.5-point favorites in this one. But obviously, the marquee game of the week is the All Blacks against England, and that one cannot wait. That one will be, I think it's called Allianz Arena now, Allianz Stadium, also known as Twickenham. All right, moving on to a bit of cricket chat. We obviously had our Women's World Cup finish last week, which I gave a little review of in the final. Congrats to India winning that one there. At the stage, we were India were playing here at the moment, or just finished sort of playing Aussie in some T20s. They just finished playing ODIs as well. They were series of tied 1-1. It was 3 games, so one of them was washed out. The fourth one was in the Gold Coast, which they beat Australia by 48 runs pretty convincingly. And then the one on Saturday at the Gabba was completely washed out. There was quite a big storm where I am. So they did win that series 2-1 in that one with 2 of them washed out. But the main thing is for Australia, we are a week and a half away from the Ashes. Get excited, guys. The 21st of November, Friday in Perth, the first ball of the Ashes will be bowled. I think it's 12:30 here in Queensland, so 1:30 down south. Looks like Jake Weatherald will be making his Australia debut, likely to be opening with Khawaja, which I haven't looked. I haven't looked too much about Weatherall's stats in Sheffield Shield. I only know him mainly as like a T20 player for Adelaide, in all honesty. So he must be playing some ripping cricket at the moment for Tasmania, I think it's in Sheffield Shield. So all credit to him if he does get that opportunity. I'm sure he'll take it with both hands. But cannot bloody wait for that one there. And we had the West Indies touring New Zealand for a 5 games of T20. The follow-up by 3 ODIs starting later this week. And then we've got 3 tests starting on early December in that one there. So West Indies won the first T20. These have been some ripping matches, by the way, guys. Won the first one by 7 runs. New Zealand come back, win the second one by 3 runs. New Zealand win the third one by 9 runs. So if you're a chasing team, you're just falling short. The fourth one was washed out. So we're now 2-1 with 1 game left to go, which is on Thursday in this one here. After that, they start the ODI series, 3 games starting on Sunday. As said, the first test between those two will start the 2nd of December. As I said, 3-test series. They should play 1. They should play 2 before Christmas, and I'd say they start 1 on Boxing Day. Could be wrong though. Haven't confidently checked. All right, heading into our American sports. You know I love my American sports. We're going to start off with a bit of NBA chat. The season keeps obviously rolling. A lot of teams now have sort of played 10, 11, 12 games. Had a pretty good slate of games today. We nearly had the Washington Wizards, who are dead last in the Eastern Conference, go to overtime with the Detroit Pistons, who are leading the Eastern Conference, and they absolutely botched it, the Wizards as well. They were up by double digits. And took a Cade Cunningham triple-double for the Detroit Pistons to win that one in overtime. They had a buzzer beater 3 to get into overtime as well. Cade Cunningham, I get it. He had a triple-double. He had 42 points. Have a look at the stats. He went 14 of 45 from the field. I didn't get that wrong. 14 shots made out of 45. 2 out of 11 from the 3-point line. Are we having a fucking laugh here? 14 out of 45 shots in a game. Must be some kind of record. I'm just going to quickly look that up. Come on, ChatGPT, be my friend quickly. While I just chat about that, because that is just like absolutely absurd by Cade Cunningham. I think he's sort of moved into like 6th favorite for MVP now. What is the most amount of shots, NBA shots by a player in one game? And while that is doing that, So yeah, Cade Cunningham, who's on the 41 for MVP. It's honestly literally probably a five man sort of race at the moment. Victor actually had a few quiet games on the West Coast in the last sort of week, which sort of has blown out his odds to like I think that's $8 at the moment. He was literally $3.50 last week. SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, still your favorite at $2.60. He just literally puts up 30 points plus consistently for fun. Luka, second favorite with the Joker. Giannis, I think, is playing quite well as well. I think he's still the leading point scorer. I may be wrong. And I said you got Wemby at 8s, Cunningham at 41s. The rest, I think, are pretty irrelevant. You got Tyrese Maxey, who's having an awesome season, by the way. Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell. I would be backing probably SGR. I think Luka, it all depends on how LeBron plays with Luka, right? And it's very interesting. LeBron's still, I think, a good week away. Going to your answer about most field goal attempts by a player in a single season NBA game. Wilt Chamberlain back in 1962, 63 attempts. That is a crazy amount. He's obviously had a 100-point game, Wilt Chamberlain, so it does not surprise me he's had 63 in one game. But the Eastern Conference, I think it is pretty blasé. I'm not, like, I get Detroit are leading, but I'm not that excited about Detroit, really. I just think they're a bit sort of fraudy. Like, they've won 7 in a row, but, like, I don't know. Like, this doesn't feel like they're going to be featuring the playoffs. I could be wrong. It's so far away. I think your Knicks and Cavs are your top 2 easy contenders, right? Like, the Bulls are looking quite good, but they've just gone and lost 3 on the trot. The Knicks, they've won 4 in a row. Heat, they've won 3 in a row. But again, like, the Heat, can you really see the Heat doing anything when it comes to, like, the pointy end of the season? We've obviously got the NBA Cup going on at the moment there. The Sixers, they're hanging about. I sort of am a little bit of a believer in the Sixers. Maxi's got to keep it up, and B's just got to stay healthy, man. He just plays, he's like in, out, in, out, in, out. Just like, what's doing, man? Boston. I spoke about Boston plenty, right? Because they had a shocking start to the season. They've now crept into 10th, like that play-in spot. I don't think Tatum's going to come back this season, man. I just don't think a ruptured Achilles, like what he did, it's just so hard to come back confidently, like near the pointy end of this NBA season. Maybe he comes back for the playoffs if they desperately need him, or like a play-in if they're around there. Yeah, like Atlanta, they must be the most frustrating team to bloody support if you're an Atlanta Hawks supporter. They are shocking as favorites, but they love the underdog spots. They had a terrible loss. I think it was like against the Wizards or like the Nets or something the other day. And then they go and beat the Clippers today in LA. Like, speaking of the Clippers, let's go to the Western Conference. They are absolute dog shit with a capital D and a capital SHIT. For a team that's got pretty stacked, right? I get it. They're pretty old. I get it. They may be taking a little bit to gel together. They are 3-7, and they bloody deserve to be 3-7 as well. They have lost 5 on the trot, and they are looking awful. They are looking disgusting at the moment. Western Conference, OKC 10-1 at the moment. They had their first loss finally last week against Portland in a game they were up by 20 points. 20 points and they lost. It's just unreal scenes by Portland. Congrats to them. OKC yesterday. So I want to mean yesterday, I mean by Monday here in Australia. They played the Grizzlies in Memphis, right? They were 10.5 point favorites. 10.5 point favorites. They were literally down by 20 at one stage, and I think in the first half. 20 points. They come ripping back, and they win by fucking 11 and get the cover. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I do not like to bet on NBA. I just think it's just the most frugal thing. I just think so much stuff can go wrong. It can just change so quickly. I think if you like betting NBA, it has to be player props. But even then, like, I bet Donovan Mitchell overs today against Miami, and he was on 11 PRA at quarter time, and I was like, sweet, he's chilling. And then he's on 11 at half time, and he literally was on the court too. He just, what happened? It's just so bizarre. And I could compare it to the same, like, oh, he's had 0 receiving yards for like the last 3 quarters, but you just don't generally see it. For an NBA player, a guy who's number one on their team, who literally mentioned him in MVP race before, kinda, for him to get 0 PRA in a quarter is just literally bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. He would have played a good 7-8 minutes in that quarter too. Yeah, really weird. Anyway, the Spurs, they're traveling on nicely, sitting second. Denver's up there. LA is playing really solid basketball at the moment. The coach, JJ Redick, has got them playing really good basketball at the moment, despite Austin Reeves is out for a couple of weeks. Luka's been out here and there. LeBron's still out. They've literally had Rui Hachimura leading them around the court, and they're still winning games. So all credit to them. I believe they beat Charlotte today. Nothing special on the road. Still nothing special. Charlotte are pretty crap. So, but yeah, other main teams are sort of up there. The West Conference is stacked this year. Like you got OKC, you got Spurs, you got Denver, LA, Houston, Minnesota, Golden State. They're looking pretty good too. They've got a brutal sort of road trip at the moment. They play one home game in 2 weeks, 12 games or something absurd like that. Suns just had a blowout win, was against the Pelicans, but Portland, they just beat OKC. Memphis, they were in it against OKC. The bottom 5 are pretty questionable, right? Sacramento, Utah, the Clippers, and then the Mavs and the Pelicans. Holy bloody dooly. The Mavs need to fire the coach. They need to fire the GM. Whoever was a part of the plan to trade Luka Doncic last year has absolutely lost his bloody marbles, because they should be fired immediately. Immediately. How dare you let go of a guy like Luka, who is literally your franchise player for the whole of his career? They made the NBA Finals not even a year and a half ago, not even 2 years ago. And now they are sitting, second last in the Western Conference? Unbelievable. And they nearly beat the Bucks today as well. But they are so bad. They are so bad. They are so bad. I feel sorry for Dallas fans. If you're a guy that supports the Mavericks and the guy that supports the Cowboys in the NFL, you've traded away 2 of your best franchise players. Unreal. Just you just got to shake your head and just laugh as an NBA fan, honestly. That will do it for NBA. We'll move on to a little bit of hockey chat. And hockey, has been everywhere lately. There's teams that I didn't think would do too well that are up there. There's teams that I thought would do well that are not doing so well. Like Florida, I spoke about them a little bit. They had a really good win against Vegas today, right? But they are literally sitting third last in their division. They're 8-7. They lost to the Ducks a couple days ago. They're having some really odd losses. They're 3-6 on the road at the moment. Just really weird. I get it. They're banged up the shit. They're still missing Barkov. They're still missing Kachuk. But they're just it's just a bit, how you going? Maybe they're tired. I can understand. They've made 3 Stanley Cups in a row. They've won back-to-back. But I'm expecting a bit better. The surprise packet for me is the definitely Anaheim Ducks, who are leading the Pacific Division by 5 points, I think that is. They're 11-3-1 at the moment. That one is an overtime loss. They're absolutely killing it at the moment. They play the Avalanche tomorrow, who are top of the Central Conference. These two are at the top of the Western Conference quite easily at the moment. The Avs are top of the tree, I think it is. In the whole of the league at the moment, they are looking very good. The Avs, they just beat Edmonton Oilers, who played in the last 2 Stanley Cup Finals. They beat them in Edmonton 9-1. 9-1. 9-1. I keep saying it. I just don't believe myself. 9-1. They won. 9-1. Then they beat the Canucks 5-4 in overtime. This team is scoring goals for fun. They don't even have a good power play this year. And they are scoring goals for fucking fun. It is outrageous. Nathan McKinnon, he is the points leader at the moment. I think he's on 29 points or something. He's just destroying everyone. Probably the best player in hockey at the moment. A team like the Blackhawks, a team that was not expected to do well this year. Connor Bedard is having an unreal season. Connor Bedard, the number 1 draft pick 2 years ago. Excuse me. They're sitting third in the division. They're looking really good. Like Utah has sort of dripped off a little bit. They've had a few losses. Vegas is looking good. Edmonton. They lost, as I said, 9-1 against the Avs a couple days ago. And then they had to scramble back today to beat the Blue Jackets at home 5-4. I think that was their second win in their last 10 games for the Oilers, which is just unreal to think about. They've got a star-studded team. Connor McDavid, he is probably like preseason the best player in hockey at the moment. Signs an extension preseason, and they're just doing nothing at the moment. It's just wild to see. They're just sitting at the bottom of the division, not really doing a whole lot. Boston Bruins in the Eastern, they're killing it at the moment. They're scoring plenty of goals, but they're scoring enough goals where they can concede them and still win games. And it's just 7-3 in the last 10. They've won their last 6 games. They're 6 in a row, which is just insane. Sitting second in the Atlantic Division behind the Canadians. Canadians did make the playoffs last year, did bow out early on. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. They're looking good. They've lost like 2 first periods, I think, this year. They're looking so strong at home. Lost 2 games at home, 5-1-1. Good on the road, 5-2-1. Scoring plenty, and the defense is pretty solid as well. And then shout out to the New York Rangers getting their first win finally at home today. Finally, they were 0-6-1 at home and scoring literally no goals at home. It was one of the most unreal things for a team that's so strong at Madison Square Garden. They just lost 5-0 to the Islanders over the weekend at home. They finally go out and finally break the dam and beat the Predators 6-3 today. To finally score some goals at home. Finally, rejoice for their fans. They've got to start playing better hockey. So did the Washington Capitals. And I wonder if my mate's listening to this, because the Washington Capitals are one of the sort of the fairy tale stories last year, right? You had Ovechkin break the goals record. Shout out to Ovechkin, by the way. He just got his 900th goal. First ever player in the NHL to do it. And I had a good conversation with my mate pre-season about this team, and he thought they would go sort of one better, like where they would sort of make like the conference finals potentially. And I sort of saw it similar to like how the Commanders in the NFL, right? They had a really good year. Is that a one-season wonder? Do they have the team to take, or do they have what it takes with the team on the roster to go one better or replicate it? I was expecting regression because of how good their season was last year, and it looks like that's what we are getting at the moment. They are sitting literally second last in the conference or third last in the conference at the moment. Not a good start for the Washington Capitals at the moment. Ovechkin, as I said, congratulations. 900 goals in the NHL. Absolutely crazy, crazy scenes. But NHL in full swing at the moment. A lot of teams have played 15, 16, 17, even 18 games. NHL is awesome. As I said, every week, if you haven't watched it, get your eyes on the hockey. It is unreal. I learned the other day as well that Channel 9, free-to-air here, is showing one game every Saturday, which is really cool, good stuff. Considering we hardly get much coverage of ice hockey here in Australia because we just don't even get snow or ice here, so what's the point? But it's such a good sport. Such a good sport if you can get into it. It's hard to sort of follow the puck, I get it. Hard to keep track of players because a lot of them are sort of Canadian or European. They've got these wicked last names. There's so many players, so many teams. But if you can, get your eyes on it because it is truly such a good sport to follow. Action-packed. I don't really have a team when it comes to hockey. I do like my Carolina Hurricanes. Being a Carolina Panthers supporter, I do also like the Florida Panthers. Not so bandwagon. I did start liking them like before they had their success. I just like the players they have on their team. I really like Bobrovsky. I really like Barkov. I really like Kachuk. Sammy Bennett. Carter Verhaeghe is my boy. I do love Carter Verhaeghe. Sammy Reinhart as well. Aaron Ekblad. Wow, naming so much of the team right now. And Carolina Hurricanes. Sebastian Aho. He is an absolute weapon as well. For the Canes, another one of my favorite players is Leon Draisaitl from the Edmonton Oilers, an absolute favorite of mine. Leon is so good on the power play for the Oilers. Always love it when I get that notification of Leon Draisaitl scored for the Oilers. I just think in my mind, Leon, let's go. All right, and that will do it for the hockey chat for the Skooshi Sports Report. And I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of NFL chat straight from the memory bank. We are 10 weeks in. Green Bay just had a pretty shocking loss against Philadelphia today or yesterday when you're listening. Jordan Love really didn't do a whole lot. They lost 10-7. It's our second 10-7 game in prime time this week gone. I will say that was a way better 10-7 than the Raiders and Broncos game that I watched on Thursday Night Football. Shout out to the under 43.5 in that one. That was absolutely shattered. That was a diabolical game. One of the worst ever games I've watched. The Broncos are sitting at 8-2 now. They've got a huge game against the Chiefs this weekend. Huge game. If they win, I think they win the AFC West, I'm going to say. Chiefs will drop to 5-5. The NFC, the Rams and the Seahawks, they are absolutely killing it at the moment. I cannot believe how good Seattle is going with Sammy Darnold there. They are both, 7-2 at the moment. They now play each other this weekend in the NFC West battle. They've still got one more game to go against each other later in the season in Seattle. This one is in LA this weekend. Rams are a slight favorite. I think they're going to win this one, the Rams. Stafford is having close to an MVP season. He is looking unreal. And I am the first one to put my hand up and say that the Rams would finish last in their division because of how I thought Stafford, this back injury, he was hardly practicing in training camp. I just thought he's going to take one big hit and he's going to go straight down. Hasn't happened yet, but how wrong was I? I said Jimmy Garoppolo would play more games than Stafford this year. We're halfway through the season. Garoppolo hasn't played a single fucking snap. Shocked me. Absolutely shocked me. But the Rams, they are looking so good. They've got a good defense. They've probably got the best wide receiving duo in the league, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. To think Devontae Adams is a wide receiver too in a team is absurd to think about, but AFC-wise, the Patriots are looking unreal. Drake May is now the favorite, I believe, for MVP, which is just crazy scenes. Good for the Patriots. They've had a few down years since Tom Brady left. Mac Jones, a quarterback, and just sort of really did struggle a bit. And now it's good to see Mike Vrabel comes in, and they've completely changed the tide. They've got a really good run defense. Travion Henderson finally had his breakout game, the rookie running back on the weekend, which is good to see. They now move, I think they're 8-2. I don't think they've had a bye yet. They now got the Jets this weekend. They should be going to 9-2. They are looking unreal for AFC number 1 seed, which is crazy to think about. The Bills go down to Miami on the weekend. Shocking performance by Josh Allen. And after beating the Chiefs the week before, and it's looking like the Patriots will win the AFC East, which is just crazy to think about. Colts won a pretty crazy game against the Falcons. They now move to 8-2 as well. Colts have a pretty deadly draw due coming in though. They are gonna, I think, struggle. I think they've got Kansas City next week. They've got a bye heading back from Germany, but they've got Kansas City next week in Kansas City, so that's going to be an absolute rip snorter of a game. Cannot wait for that one. If I was to predict the Super Bowl at the moment, honestly, I thought the NFC title game was literally today, like a preview sort of thing with Green Bay and Philadelphia. But after seeing what Green Bay has dished up, the defense is looking unreal with Micah Parsons, but the offense, they haven't really got a wide receiver one. And it's kind of confusing, right? It's sort of similar to Buffalo. And they've got so many receivers. They've got literally Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden. They've still got Reed to come back. I've just named and Tucker Kraft. He's obviously just gone season-ending ACL. I think that's 6 receivers I just named. But they just don't do a whole lot. And it's really interesting. There's no standout one there. I think Matthew Golden probably has the most potential, I feel like. But he was injured today. And he just hasn't quite had the breakout game yet where he goes 100 plus, 6 catches sort of thing. Christian Watson, I really rate, but again, he had 2 catches today, not much. Romeo Dobbs, I didn't even name Romeo Dobbs in that list there. He had like 5 yards today. Like, what's going on? I really rate Jordan Love as well. And they're just not really doing a whole lot on offense. If they can get it going, I really do rate them. Detroit's looking good as well. If I was to pick a Super Bowl at the moment, I'd say the Rams are in there. And you know what? Ooh, I'm going to say the Patriots. I'm going to say it's a Patriots against Kansas City AFC title game in Foxborough. Drake May, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, how do you not go against Patrick? How do you go against Patrick Mahomes in a game like that? Oh, based on current form, Patriots and the Seahawks, which would be Patriots and Rams. Sorry, excuse me. That would be an absolute awesome Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, the old veteran. You know, this is an MVP 2-horse race between those two at the moment. Him and Drake May. Should be awesome. That will do it for NFL. I will keep doing a little NFL updates as the weeks go. We've got 7 or 8 more weeks, of the regular season left to go before we head into playoffs. That will do it for the Skooshi Sports Report this week. Skooshi Sports News. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Of course, if you like the content, remember to give it a massive like and subscribe to the channel. Hit 40 subscribers today as well. I know it's just 40, but I appreciate every single one of those 40 as well. It means a lot to me that I have 40 loyal followers. Getting some really good views as well. All of my socials as well. Putting up reels every single day. Try and put up updates of sporting sort of news as well when I can. Obviously working full-time, it's pretty sort of hard to manage. We covered our Women's Player of the Week. As I said, congratulations to Elena Rybakina from Kazakhstan in the women's tennis. Covered a bit of rugby, All Blacks just getting the win. A bit of cricket and then American sports, NBA, ice hockey, and NFL. As I said, guys, that will do it for the Skooshi Sport podcast this week. I'll see you tomorrow for the Red Zone Report, Week 11. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and cheers.